Hi, this is Mrs. Nagayama, your biology teacher, and this recording is going to help you with Quiz 2.16. Please review sections 2.15 and 2.16 before taking this quiz. So just like we went over in Unit 2.14, we'll be visiting the concept of macromolecules. To remind you, macromolecules are large, important molecules that we need to live. Last time we talked about carbohydrates. Today, for this quiz, the focus is going to be on lipids and fats. Lipids have many different functions, but the number one function that lipids have is to store energy for the body. So when we have fat inside of our body, the purpose is to store energy so that we can use it when we don't have food. For example, when you're exercising, or maybe when you're in some sort of stressful situation, you can always get energy from your fats. The structure of lipids is that it's hydrophobic. Hydro meaning water, phobic meaning afraid of. So lipids are actually afraid of water or don't like water. Another way to say this is that it's non-polar. If you look at this picture below, you'll notice that lipids are mostly made out of C's and H's. The C's are carbons, the H's are hydrogen atoms. Two different types of fats that you've probably heard of are saturated versus unsaturated fats. Saturated fats tend to be the quote-unquote unhealthy ones. If you look on the left side of the table, you'll see that the examples would be things like lard and butter. They're actually very tightly packed with one another, which makes fats very easily build up in your arteries, which can lead to heart disease. If you look at the picture on the left, at the bottom, you'll see that the saturated fatty acids are very straight, which allows them to stack up next to each other. This is why they build up very easily. If you think of saturated fats, they're always solid at room temperature. So think about if you had lard or butter out on your counter, it would probably be in the solid state. However, we have unsaturated fats, which is on the right side of the table. Some examples would be like corn oil and olive oil. They're very loosely packed with one another, making it easier to lose these fats, and they're less likely to build up in your arteries. So if you look at the picture on the right at the bottom, you'll see that the unsaturated fats are actually not straight at all. They have these bent or kinks in them, which don't allow the fats to really accumulate and build up closely together. If you think of unsaturated fats like corn oil and olive oil, they tend to be liquid at room temperature. So here are some sample questions from the quiz. Remember, these are actual questions from the quiz that you will see in just a second once you take it. So here's a sample question. What type of lipid stores extra energy and is liquid at room temperature? Remember, we have types of lipids that are solid at room temperature and liquid at room temperature. So are they fats, oils, steroids, or waxes? Remember, we just saw this slide that the unsaturated fats are liquid at room temperature, and if we look at the examples, we'll see that corn oil and olive oil are examples of unsaturated fats. So the best answer for this one would be B, oils. Okay, so the last concept we're going to go over are steroids. So majority of you guys probably have heard of steroids, but maybe in a negative light, because a lot of athletes like to take steroids that are not naturally produced in their body. If you take steroids that are not naturally produced in your bodies, that tends to have negative effects on your body and allow you to perform at very high levels that's not natural to you. So that's usually why they're banned in different sports. However, steroids that are naturally produced by your body are really important. The function of steroids is that they are chemical messengers in your body. So some examples would be cortisol, testosterone, and estrogen. So cortisol is a steroid that helps you cope with stress. So when you are stressed, cortisol is released, and that helps your body cope with that stress. So it sends messages throughout your body to help you deal with that stress that you're going through. Testosterone and estrogen are both steroids, and you might know them as sex steroids, and they help you with your body's development into adulthood during puberty. So for example, testosterone and estrogen are released during are heavily released during puberty, and they send messages to allow your body to actually make all the changes that is necessary during that time. So again, the big idea is steroids are chemical messengers in your body. So the sample question is, the human body has natural steroids, a type of lipid. Which is the function of steroids in the human body? Do they A, store energy in the body, B, build cell membranes, C, carry chemical messages throughout the body, or D, prevent water loss from the body? Remember, you're thinking about the function of steroids. So remember, this is just the slide that I showed you. The function is that they are chemical messengers in your body. They're the ones sending messages so that certain changes can happen inside of your body to cope with different changes that are happening, whether it be stress or puberty. So the best answer for this one would be C, they carry chemical messages throughout the body. Okay, so that concludes the review for this quiz. Just make sure that you read through those sections that I mentioned in the beginning of the PowerPoint before you take this quiz. Remember, you could take the quiz as many times as you need to, and your goal is to score at least a 60%, which would be a passing grade in this class. If you have any questions, please email me or contact me at 562-450-0806 for extra help.